And we have Troy Castellano in studio, and I love when people are gifted as songwriters, as Troy is. He's a great performer, but it's more than that for him. And he's taken his gift and he gives in a way to other people. And I cannot wait to unwrap this package that is Troy Castellano. He's in our studio today. And you have those, I call them common denominator names. You hear a song, you go, who wrote that? Or you're in a crowd with somebody and you're at a writer's night and somebody sings a song and my co-writer is, and it's a common denominator name. And finally, at Chris Golden and Family and Friends concert, up walks the common denominator of Troy Castellano. How are you?
Good morning. Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, yeah, and then I went to your YouTube channel, and it is chock full of goodness.
Oh, thank you.
It is like a big juicy orange that you just want to squeeze every day. It's got great songs, and this week you have the #1 inspirational country music song, Chris
Yes.
Golden's "Grateful," that you and Bill DeLuigi wrote together.
Yep, me and Bill and Reed Waddle, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, what a blessing that song's been. I'm so glad that Chris had the faith to cut it and was really inspired by it. And yeah, #1, my first #1 ever.
Oh, congratulations!
So.
Congratulations. Well, you know, not for lack of a gift, because as a songwriter, you are gifted. But
Thank
I
you.
want to go back to where you're from. Let's take it back a little bit,
All right.
Troy. You're from where?
So I'm originally from Minnesota. I lived in central Minnesota, which is maybe 40 miles north of the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
One day of summer every year.
Yep, and lots of mosquitoes. But I grew up there and spent most of my adult life there, but I always made music. Was always playing in bands and supplementing my income doing that. And there just came a point a few years back, there was a record label that was forming in LA, and I got that fantasy phone call of, hey, this is the CEO of Fresh Def Records, how would you like to come out and audition for the label? And I'm like, oh, I'd love that. So that didn't work out. I mean, there was something on the table, but I got a decent attorney, and he's like, don't sign this. But it really flipped my switch to know that I found, you know, it took me so long to find myself really, what do you want to do in life? And that was one of the founding factors. I just kind of shut off a lot of other things and focused on making music. And that same attorney said, Troy, you want to be a songwriter? You're geographically challenged living in central Minnesota. You need to be in New York, LA, or Nashville. And I've been to LA a bunch of times. I got 3 kids. I wasn't going to raise kids in LA. Not a concrete and glass guy, so New York was out of the question. And I came to Nashville in 2012, took a little workshop, and just fell in love. I'm like, this is, if I was a hippie during the Haight-Ashbury days, this is where all the peace and love was for songwriters. So I went back to my wife and I said, man, if there's any way we can make this work, I know I'm asking a lot. This is my heart screaming to be there, and I think I just need this as a person. And you know, we made it work. Took 2 years to get here. That was 2012, and we moved here in 2014. So, but you know, if you watch my YouTube, you see that I played with Tommy Lee from Motley Crue on a record 10 years ago, and then writing. Here's something. Just Keith Urban and Big and Rich and Montgomery Gentry, and these guys are playing Les Pauls and Marshalls, and I fit more of the Keith Urban thing, but all of a sudden, oh, so this is country radio now. I think I found a home. This is where my style fits the best. Because when I tried to rock, it was like bad 80s rock. You know, it just wasn't authentic, I guess is the word.
Finding yourself, that is a question that we talk a lot about on the show. And some people are in their retirement before they actually find themselves, and that's okay. You know what? You
totally understand that now. You know,
it is kind of hard in your struggle and in your search and in your journey. What are some of the things that you did that weren't you?
That weren't me. 9 to 5 in it. You know, punching a clock. I did all these things like in my early 20s and 30s that I thought was proper. I didn't even really go to college till I was 28. I mean, it just, Here's a perfect example. In high school, I played guitar and was into music and all that, but there wasn't a lot of peers who played, so I didn't really have people to jam with. And that's all I thought about was music. And the classes in high school are like construction trades, Future Farmers of America, welding, and one of the options was creative writing. And I'm like, I don't need English. I hated English, so I went to welding, you know. But those are the mistakes I'm trying to say. Is like, you know, I should have took creative writing, but I didn't recognize it, you know. So, but those are the things. I mean, I think that's what we all have to do is learn, live and learn. And I was not married young, but with my wife very young. We had kids late. We've grown old together, so to speak, you know. There's other things too that, like, I think this is one piece of advice I learned since I moved here. To anybody that's aspiring to do this kind of thing, music, acting, whatever, leave your hometown, because you can be you then. Because hometowns get to be so cliquey in a way, like, oh, Troy, what, he thinks he's a rock star now? Oh, he's going to be a country guy now? You know, you get all this kind of attitude from your hometown.
It's true. A
You can't
prophet
grow.
is without honor in his own hometown. That, you know, they
Yes.
it's crazy, but you're right.
You can't grow.
And you need to spread your wings and find a new place where you can actually be the person you want to be. Another person, I love reading his work, and that's Andy Andrews, who wrote The Traveler's Gift. And he says, don't tell people what you're going to do. Just do it, because the naysayers come out of the woodwork with all the reasons you can't. But then you do it, and they go, how did you do that? Then they will all want your advice.
Yeah.
You know?
It does affect you when they give you your opinions while you're in process. You know? Yeah.
And I always say when I'm about to do something, I'm going, stay out of my way and don't give me any of the negative. That will come out. Let me learn my own lessons. You don't learn to walk really with, you know, there are really no lessons in how to walk.
Yeah, right.
You know, one day the kid just gets up, and does he fall on his booty every now and then? Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
But that's what it is in life. Let's talk about, speaking of, this song we're about to play from your collection of work that you brought here, your Troy Castellano collection, Quitter.
Quitter. I wrote this with my friend Brett Mandel. He had this great hook. We were waiting on our co-writer to show up, and he was late. And he was telling me about the song, and I said, wait a minute. I sat down the piano. I'm not a prolific piano player by any means. That's why I have good friends like Jeff McMahon. Oh, he's in the house over here. But so that just came about. I started playing this and pulling the melody out, and it was something honest, I think, that we've all felt at some point. It seems this song, Quitter, is about a guy who maybe was kind of a butthead to people and then has realized, okay, I've never been more of a winner since I become a quitter. That's the hook, you know. So,
Oh, wow.
But it's one of these songs that's gone up and down Music Row. There's plenty of people aware of it, but it's getting the right artist to want to be vulnerable enough to say what's in the song. So
We're going to give a listen right now to Troy Castellano, Quitter. Elizabeth, this is my favorite song. I love Quitter, and y'all are going to as well. Chris is watching. Hey, Chris Golden, we love you. Hey, Aubrey Wallet says, hey, Troy.
oh, hey Aubrey, what's happening?
Elizabeth Blakesley, she said, my hometown guy.
Yeah, she's from my hometown. She lives here too. We same year at school.
Quit fighting, I quit taking, I quit reliving my past mistakes, and I've never felt more like a winner. No, I've never felt more like a winner since I've become a quitter.
tears. That's powerful.
Thank you.
And like you said, that last verse is for us today because the news this weekend was painful.
Right, gotta quit holding grudges, man.
And the hatred. And I've never been more of a winner till I became a quitter.
Yep. Until I quit doing these things that are destructive to
ourselves and to others. Yeah.
Well, you see what I'm talking about, Lexi? I mean, you're an artist,
Thank
songwriter,
you.
and just beautifully done. And we want to talk a little bit about you use your gift to give back because there are some kids on a journey.
Yes.
That don't know where they're going, and you're trying to kind of step in and help them with their journey a little earlier in the fact. So tell us what you've created.
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier about coming to town and seeing how people can help me, I'm here, help me, you know. I just felt like I was always kind of taking and not giving. And then the circumstance fell in my hand where a co-writer friend asked if I had a spare keyboard, and I'm like, what do you need it for? Oh, my husband's a teacher in school, and he just wants one that he could use in the classroom. So I gave it to him. He sent me back a video of him teaching the kids, these are 10-year-olds, the phases of the moon. And they did it to the melody of Blue Moon, and they all got to contribute to write the song. And they were so engaged, like he had to say, now, quiet now, because they get so excited. But I'm like, that's their favorite teacher. And I know enough people in this business that have starter instruments like guitars and keyboards and even ukuleles that maybe I could just reach out to my peer group here in town and see if they would donate that to me, and I'll in turn get it into a classroom. So for all the teachers out there, you're probably in class right now because school just started. But reach out to me at instrumentsforeducation.org, and if we have it in inventory, I'll bring a guitar, I'll bring a keyboard, I'll bring a cajon, I'll bring these instruments that don't take up a lot of space to be in the classroom for kids to explore and hopefully spark that interest where maybe that Christmas they'll ask for a guitar. And you know, the big benefits of the whole picture are getting them into something that's going to be there for a lifetime. It's therapy. It's a way to vent, especially with young kids that are tied to screens and needing this acknowledgement from their peers on screen. And it's such a social high and low. The guitar or the keyboard, once you get into it and really like to play it and you're obsessed with it, you're going to get off the screen. You're going to get off the Xbox and the video games and the Netflix binge watching. This is a big push for me, is like, just do something that's good for your soul.
Yes, indeed. And give us that website one more time for playback, because we also are on our Nashville Today page. Troy Castellano's interview, you'll see it if you just joined us there on our Nashville Today page. And if you're a teacher that is listening on playback, here's where you go for information.
Yeah, instrumentsforeducation.org. And it's completely free. There's no cost to the school. There's no cost to the teacher. If we have it in inventory, I will bring it to you.
I just love that.
Yep.
I just love that. Troy Castellano is going to play live after we go to break. I assume because there's a guitar right there.
Yeah,
right.
I would love to. I wasn't sure if I was, but I would love to. So.
We are here live in studio with Troy Castellano, and the process of writing, do you write from, maybe I just want to sense it, but it seems like you write from you. You write from someplace, there has to be something real for you to write a song.
I think a lot of that, the intellectual part that I deliver into a song, like I'm a melody and music guy first, but definitely have lots to say. And there's a few songs I've written lately that truly, I stepped back as I'm listening back to the demos going like, wow, this is where I'm at in my life. And I didn't realize it while we were writing it. But, I think you just have to say things that you live and are honest. And of course we write just fun stuff we know nothing about for radio, I say know nothing about, but just like, I don't know, there's definitely me in these songs for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about that verse number 1. Chris Golden is actually watching
Chris,
right
yep.
now. And
That's where we met, at his show in Gallatin.
Mhm.
And so blessed that he cut that. And you know, there was a story, and I'm just kind of paraphrasing what I heard, but it was on hold with the Oak Ridge Boys for a while, and then Dwayne Allen said, you know, suggested to Chris, you should probably cut this song. So, and it was like through Dave Cobb, who produced the Oak Ridge Boys, and Chris Stapleton. So that was a big buzz and for me, you know, feeling for me, like, wow, them guys really care about what we write, you know. And me and Bill and Reed wrote that in my little shed studio down in Columbia, Tennessee.
if you were to think right now and you're going to write a gratitude list, what's the first thing you write down?
Health,
That is so true.
family. I've had a tough road to hoe here with the home front and family for what I'm trying to do. It's nothing different than anybody else. It's raising kids, it's money problems, you know, but it's like we're healthy. We're healthy. Every day is a second chance, you know. So for sure health, then family, then music. Music always seems to be first in your mind, you know, like the gratitude that I have to be able to do this is what I'm saying. It's like, my wife did move here, and I'm working hard to do this. I get to get up every day and make music in some form or another. So that's, well, just grateful and gracious for that. But health, first of all, you can't do any of it. And you know, we all know some people that go through health things. There's this young girl, Ava Page, who's such an amazing, talented writer.
Bless her, yes. And in remission from leukemia.
Yes, yeah, and this community in town has so embraced her, and you know, it's like, I have kids that are just a year or two older, so I feel that situation for them, and you know, health is important. You can't live a decent life without being healthy. I don't care what you're trying to chase, you got to be healthy.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of grateful, as we're going to hear that song before you play live, Troy Castellano is our guest, one of the writers on this song, Chris Golden, the singer, first number one for you. So we're going to hear Grateful. And as you listen to this, I want you to think through, and maybe today, sometime during the day, just sit down and on a Post-it note, write your gratitude list. And I know a gratitude list is probably not long enough for, it's too long for a Post-it note. But when you start looking at things that really make you grateful, usually it's one or two, three things that really make your life worth living. Woo, that song just kills me. And it reminds me to be grateful. And sometimes we need that little reminder. I know that first breath you take in the morning, hey, I woke up today. That's my first gratitude. I woke up today. Thank you, God. Because if someone else has to step in and take care of my animals, they're gonna be mad at me.
And die.
You know, what is she thinking? Oh, well, and a shout out to our friend Dean Sams with Lone Star, who's listening in California. They're out in California doing a show, and so they're watching on Facebook Live. Dean is, and you have a collection of CDs that are available at your show. Speaking of shows, where are you playing?
Tuesday night, tomorrow night at the Listening Room with my friends from Rhyme Partners Publishing, Melissa Bollet Rowe, Reed Waddle, and Bryn Black. And that one I just got last week, and then I have my own round hosted there Wednesday night at 6 p.m. It's me, it was going to be Andrew Rollins, but he had to cancel. So I got Taylor Goyette, Reed Waddle, and Taylor, sorry, I'm mixing these up. It's me, Taylor Goyette, Haley Verhollen, and Chris Garner. And then at the end of the month, I got the sweet spot, the Bluebird, August 27th at 6 p.m.
How beautiful.
So we'll have Ashlyn Grace there. Jeff McMahon will be accompanying us. My good friend Joe West. And Ava Page is in that round if she's healthy enough. If not, we're just going to really celebrate raising awareness of what she's going through. So
how beautiful.
Yeah,
because that's what you do. That is what you do. And you again, the website for your instruments,
instrumentsforeducation.org.
Troy Castellano's with us, and you've been holding that guitar, and I want to hear your music.
I want to play something that I recently wrote. So this is kind of fresh off of the Song Factory here in Nashville, and I wrote this with Sarah Spencer and John Cirillo. It's called Lost Amen. Even though I've never seen water turn into wine, doesn't mean that it didn't happen once upon a time. Well, I'm down here on this earth, walking in this dirt, I still pray. Sometimes life is coming at you 100 miles an hour. It's easy to forget to lean to your higher power. When everything's a blur, faith is just a word, I still pray. I couldn't find it in whiskey, I couldn't see it through the smoke, but I know it's out there somewhere, buried in by hope. I throw my prayers to the wind until they come back again, searching for a lost amen. I keep trying to find the reasons why for all my twists and turns. I keep trying to ride these rapids under bridges and come back again, searching for a lost amen. Lost amen. Lost amen. Lost amen.
Wow. That's a journey song.
Thank you.
Not the band, but your
The-
journey to get here.
Right?
That is, and we're all on a pathway, and
You can't forget about faith and throwing some prayers out there, you know? Like, don't forget. It's always-
speaking of those dog tags around your neck, I'm a child of the 70s, and we had POW dog tags and things like that. So let's look at that dog tags that you have around your neck. It has a cross on yours.
The one is a cross, and it's got some scripture on there which I can't quite read. But and the other one just says Trocat Rocks, and that was my nickname, Trocat. So there was a previous band that I had that I gave everybody these dog tags with their nicknames and stuff on them. So it's just something I wear to remind me to keep faith, for sure, you know, and it's a good luck charm. And plus my dogs think I'm part of their family because I jingle like they do.
What kind of dogs do you have?
We got two rescue dogs. A little Chihuahua Min Pin mix. Her name is Lucy Fur because she's kind of
How
Crazy.
yeah, she is like, and I have people come to my studio, but we have to go in the house to use the bathroom, right? And I'm always like, just sorry about my crazy dog. But so Chihuahua and a Beagle, and they're both rescue dogs. So
They couldn't possibly be more different, right?
yeah, they love each other. The Beagle just follows the other one. What should I do? Oh, I should bark. Oh, the doorbell. You know, whatever.
Oh, I'll do what you do.
Yeah, exactly. So it's learned all these bad habits from Lucy Fur.
I love it. And tell me about your family.
I have three teenagers. One just turned 18, graduated from Spring Hill. She was in JROTC, and she did really well on that. And now she's taking a big jump and moving out. And it's a little too soon for mom and dad, but
She'll be okay.
I guess we'll deal with that, you know. And then I have twin boy and girl, Kale and Kalia. Cyan's the oldest, and then Kale and Kalia are twin boy and girl. They both just turned 16 last week, so now we got to find new car insurance.
Oh my!
I'm
that's
kidding,
tough.
but not kidding. We've had some, you know, we've had some pretty high quotes because we got 3 teenagers driving.
Right.
But I love them all. We go through the same trials and tribulations everybody does, fighting about raising kids and money and all that. I think I mentioned that before. But I love them. We're all healthy, you know, and just listen to Dad a little more and we'll get along fine.
Would you? But you know what? That's life. And
Yes.
life is life is messy and beautiful, and it's like, to quote Daryl Worley's song, "Awful Beautiful Life." It's all of it, and that's what makes life worth living. Because if it was all easy breezy, there'd be no challenges.
Yeah, right.
And gratitude doesn't always come when you don't have a challenge. Sometimes getting through the challenge is where the gratitude actually is born.
Yeah, and take a breath every now and then. Just like, everything's not easy. It's whether it's the business or whatever career you're working on. Just take a breath, relax. It'll all come in due time and in the right way. Things.
Well, where can people find out more about you? And do you record demos at your studio?
I do, yep. I have a little studio called My Blue Heaven Studio, and that's myblueheavenstudio.com. And it's basically songwriter demos. I can do some bigger productions, but mainly doing songwriter demos. And then troycastellano.com, which has all about me, and you can check me out. And then the socials are on there. And one of the things I want to mention too that I'm doing is I had this goal of getting 1,000 subscribers. So this year, January 1st, I started a YouTube show called Project 52. And why it's named that is because 52 Sundays we're putting out a live performance, acoustic performance of songs that I've written with the artists and writers that I've written with. So it's hit writers that have had hits with George Strait to Keith Urban. It's the up and comers, but it's really cool because we do it in this format that is what it's like in the room when we wrote it that day. It's just the guitars and the voices, and sometimes it's one of my favorite formats to do. We have fiddle, acoustic guitar, and keyboard. And so if there's songs that I couldn't, or the co-writer or artist couldn't come do it with me, or I wrote it myself, we bring this format in and we do it that way. And it's almost like going from rock and roll to unplugged, It's like, and there's so much little subtle nuances that come out in those performances. It's different. But yeah, that's on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Troy Castellano.
Troy Castellano, you are a gift to us all. So thank you so much for coming in. And check out his music. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Click the bell so you know when something new pops up.
Thank you.
And I love YouTube. I learned today how to pull up carpet tack strips. Anything I don't know, I go to YouTube. And it's my new TV. I go, if you don't like the TV that's on networks, you can find a network, and when you do find something you like, subscribe. Let those people know.
I am the best YouTube car mechanic.
Isn't that the truth? Everything I know because of YouTube.
Yeah.
There was college.
Scary but true.
I went to college, but what I really needed was at YouTube.
Right.
And now smart people can do things I don't even know how. So I'm learning how to epoxy a sink.
I've learned to do video editing in a simple form for this show because I'll have a few cameras running. And what I'm going to do now is I'll do a how to do that, how to sync your audio to your video. How do you do, at one point when I have the time, I'm going to give back in that way where hopefully I can show other people how to do these little home production YouTube shows, I'm sure there's a lot of that out there, but I'll put in my 2 cents.
Well, your 2 cents is worth a whole lot more than 2 cents. We love you. TroyCastellano.com. Check him out. Thanks for coming in.
Devon.